I might have to get something to eat in this stream because I was in a cooking class today, for my first cooking class ever, and I really had a good time. And I ate quite a lot, but I didn't. That was like I ate at 2, and I haven't eaten ever since then because like I said, I ate quite a lot. But now I'm feeling like my body having a bit of the shakes, which is usually when I don't eat enough. Plus, like, with G Fuel, the shakes are more intense. So I might get something like to just like munch on while we read between these SCPs, because I don't want to collapse, or I don't like the feeling, So I have some mints here that will help a little bit, but other than that, I might have to like go downstairs after maybe like 2 more SCPs and just get something just to snack on. But for now, the title is something I'm hoping for this video. Viral video. Viral video is the next one. I'm glad they're short. That sounds nice. And don't worry, eating is important. Thank you. Because I know there's like a taboo apparently on eating on stream, because like some people like really hate that. But at the end, I'm like, listen, I'm a human being. I have to eat. If you don't like the sound of me eating, then I mean, how do you handle a restaurant? Are you going to a restaurant, you order food, and you put your earplugs in, you're like, you know what I mean? Okay. Safe. All instances of SCP-1792 in physical media are to be kept in a locked room, away from human contact. Recordings of SCP-1792 are not to be played, and devices it has been played on are to remain disconnected from power sources and display devices. Images produced by SCP-1792 are to be covered at all times. Visual contact, direct or indirect, is prohibited. Individuals suspected to have viewed SCP-1792 are to be contained for their safety and the safety of others. They are not to be allowed any objects with which they may injure themselves or others, and may only communicate with Class D personnel verbally. Visual and digital modes of communication are expressly forbidden. Those infected by SCP-1792 are also to be monitored closely at all times, and to be stopped if they begin to inflict self-harm or other suspicious activities. Recording of the subject is prohibited. Everything related to SCP-1792, living or not, is to be stored in facilities without any SCP specimens demonstrating telepathic abilities. To prevent possible containment, any facility containing an instance of SCP-1792 is considered unsafe for such entities, and suspected instances of SCP-1792 are not to be brought to any facility with such subjects already present. Let me check something with the music. Wow, Scream has a giant pause for some reason. SCP-1792 appears to be a fragment of video footage with mind-affecting properties. None who view it are able to coherently describe what they saw, and many begin exhibiting strange behavior after exposure. Is it the back rooms? Reactions to viewing of SCP-1792 have varied immensely. Strong emotional responses are not uncommon. Many appear to be perturbed or distraught by what they saw, and fearfulness, frustration, contentment, hysteria, giddiness, and severe melancholia, among other reactions, have all been seen those exposed to SCP-1792. What is it? Why did my phone just make a sound even though there's no message? Weird. As all exposed to SCP-1792 exhibit intense reactions, many give little or no response to it, replying in in vague, non-committal answers when questioned. More than one suspect has viewed SCP-1792 and later expressed no recollection of it all. Polygraph tests confirmed their conviction in the statement. Researchers were able to confirm that these individuals did in fact view SCP-1792. However, no cause for the widely varying response has been discovered as of this time. It's literally just Rick Ashley never going. I would love if that's the one. I would love if that's the case. SCP-1792, other notable quality is its self-propagation. When a tape or disc containing SCP-1792 is inserted into a device to play the contents, it infects the device. All future media played on the device will have SCP-1792 recorded onto them, playing it back instead of the original contents. These copies also display the infectious behavior. Testing so far has not discovered a limit to its self-propagation, with all generations producing media containing SCP-1792. It is just being Rick-rolled, isn't it? It's just Rick Ashley is never going to give you up. The exact extent to which this contagious behavior extends is unknown. Display devices such as television used to play SCP-1792 do not carry the infection, but a device has SCP-1792 inserted then ejected from without playing will still be contaminated, implying immediate spread upon contact. Experiments confirm that SCP-1792 can spread outside of its original medium. The number of vectors that SCP-1792 can be transmitted by it's unknown. Well, okay, it's literally a video virus in the virus. Yeah, it's doing both. It's trying very hard to become viral, as in like everybody knows about it, and it's also a virus infecting other things. Yeah, it's like a mixture. It's a good mixture of both, which is cool. You know, it's good, like a good title. There's no widespread sense. Oh my god. There's no widespread consensus on SCP-1792's origin or purpose at that time. Wait, did I read the? Yeah. Or purpose at this time. One hypothesis is that SCP-1792 exists mainly to propagate itself like a virus. Yeah, there it is. With its effect on viewers on an unintended side effect. Others contest this, claiming that the universal inability to describe SCP-1792 contents and that it affects so many viewers at all signifies some reason for these effects. List of SCP-1792 instances. Oh boy. Stretch. -1. A VHS tape, no label. While not the first SCP-1792 sample discovered, it is currently dated as the oldest, hence its numbering. Apart from its age and slightly more wear than most samples, it would not be more notable than most items on this list, but for its potential to be the original source of SCP-1792. -2. A brand VCR. It is among the oldest samples found. While its age is less than that of -1, it is possible for older tapes to be played on newer VCRs, making this item the second most likely origin of SCP-1792. However, evidence provided by instances such as -33 suggests that the possibility that neither is the true origin. -4. A VHS tape, no label, found in redacted in the possession of Mr. It was the first sample of SCP-1792 found. Mr. was arrested for assaulting his wife and daughter. Police reports state that Mrs. reported her husband beginning to act strange after watching a tape lent to him by a friend. She claimed to have not seen the contents of the tape herself. Mr. died in prison several months after being arrested. The current location of Mrs. and her daughter is unknown. -12. A VHS tape of Redacted, an animated children's movie, found in a video rental store in Redacted. -12 is presumed to have been infected when rented out to someone who had already encountered a different instance of SCP-1792. Despite the Foundation scouring Redacted and surrounding towns, no more copies of SCP-1792 could be found in the area, and it is unknown if -2 was rented out after being infected. -18. Let me just scroll down. Brand DVD -R disk, it is currently hypothesized that SCP-1792 was played on a hybrid DVD/VCR player at some point, resulting in its spread to newer media. -24 destroyed a tower computer after discovering an online discussion about a haunted videotape. 2 agents were dispatched to investigate. On entering the author's home, the agents found him using his computer to make digital copies of the contents of VCR. Oh boy. Agent drew his sidearm and fired several bullets into the computer tower, destroying the hard drive and motherboard. The tape inside the VCR was later confirmed to be another instance of SCP-1792. As averting the threat of SCP-1792 infecting the internet was high priority, even then, Agent received a commendation for his actions. The threat author, Mr. was convinced to not report the event to the police. Question. Because that sounds very much like The Ring, you know? At least the Americanized version, where like, oh, I have to spread the footage to so many people as possible, so that Sadako, the ring girl, will, which I know in the American version she's called something different, will not kill me. Now my question is, are each of the instances we just read different moments in either fiction or his history, where something exploded in spread, like the anime, like the cartoon? Is it like a cartoon that exploded in like popularity out of nowhere, and everybody wanted VHS tapes of it? Or am I just looking? I think I'm looking in too deep for that. Maybe that part itself was just like very similar to The Ring. -27, a possibly unfinished symbol or picture painted in blood. After an SCP-1792 experiment with Class D personnel, one of the subjects reported feeling unwell and was dismissed early. The night he was found dead in his room by another Class D, having bled out due to a self-inflicted wound. On the wall was a large image painted using his own blood. The Class D who discovered him notified security personnel, and while a response was swift, 3 more Class Ds. While a response was swift, 3 more Class Ds, 2 security guards, and the researchers saw -27 before someone realized what it may be. The area was cordoned off, and a Class D was sent in to wash away -27, bringing the total number of personnel exposed to it up to 8. While all who saw it were able to describe it more coherently than the average person exposed to SCP-1792, with more difficulty seeming to arise from the quality of the image rather than the effects of SCP-1792, all of them were quarantined. The Class D personnel who showed no signs of instability or other symptoms of SCP-1792 exposure prior to the scheduled termination, but as of now, the 3 staff members are still contained. This incident raised the concern that SCP-1792 could be spread through living beings as well as digital media, with the main result being greatly increased restrictions on those exposed to SCP-1792. Reclassification of SCP-1792 to Euclid is proposed. -28, and music player. How many more? That's okay. Music player, one of the Class D personnel in an SCP-1792 experiment, was given the item before entering the viewing room. Having been instructed to use it to record the sounds made by SCP-1792 after the viewing was over, the device was taken back and given to Class D who hadn't been exposed to SCP-1792. She was told to listen to any song on it. After she had done so, she began to display signs of exposure to SCP-1792 despite having never seen it nor any images of it. Prior to this experiment, the auditory aspect of SCP-1792 was considered unimportant. Seeing it while it was paused or muted could still infect someone, as could pictures of the content within. Additionally, subjects asked about what they experienced almost never attempted to describe what they heard, focusing more on the visual and emotional aspects of it. -28, however, proved that sonic transmission was also possible, resulting in many hypotheses being revised. It's it's learning as it fights. It's just becoming stronger. It's adapting. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Dash 31 destroyed an albino lab rat after the concerns raised by the Dash 27 incident. 2 researchers were assigned to exploring the possibility of SCP-1792 spreading through living beings. To this end, they conditioned a lab rat to watch a monitor in its tank. After this was complete, they inserted Dash 18 and left the room, taking the DVD player remote control with them. After leaving, they pressed the play button on the remote, then waited for 10 minutes before pressing the power button to turn the DVD player off. Then re-entered the room in a manner similar to how standard SCP-1792 experiments with Class D personnel are conducted. There they found the rat behaving oddly, scrambling about backwards with its head pressed to the floor of its tank. When he noticed that it appeared to be forming lines in its bedding, Dr. panicked and promptly crushed it with a nearby Bunsen burner. Damn, okay. The experiment was scheduled to be repeated at a later date, but the Dash 34 incident rendered this unnecessary. So the rat was trying to like write down words with its blood from its head. Is that what I'm understanding here? Dash 33. That's okay. 2 last ones. A painting produced by one of the D-Class personnel exposed to SCP-1792. Sometime after exposure to SCP-1792, the Class D began making all requests for painting supplies. When researchers were informed on this, the incident with Dash 27 was re-examined. It was still unknown whether individuals exposed to SCP-1792 could transmit it or create new instances of it. And all attempts to make Class D personnel write or draw what they saw had failed, as most were not sure what they saw themselves. Thus, the request was approved. The Class D was sequestered to a different secure area of the site to prevent the SCP he was potentially creating from infecting others. When it was finished, the item was claimed from the Class D and contained to eventually be tested for the presence of SCP-1792. Okay, and then now Dash 34, the one that made the other experiment not necessary anymore. The entire security monitoring system was site. When the first experiment with Dash 33 was being prepared, a failure to follow protocol led to the containment breach, during which Dash 33 was exposed outside of its sealed testing room. A security camera captured the incident, and the guard monitoring the feed observed Dash 33. After realizing that what had occurred, he put the facility on alert, shut down the security monitoring system, and waited for other personnel in a state of partial shock. Upon their arrival, he reported what he had seen. To the extent that he could, he was unable to describe Dash 33 despite having clearly seen it. That he was infected through the security feed that indicated something even worse. SCP-1792 was now likely in the facility computer system. What followed was months of difficulty, as the entire security system of site was dismantled and replaced with alternative methods of monitoring the SCPs in the facility enacted until the procedure was complete. Additionally, all information saved in the system was lost, as the threat that any data within was corrupted by SCP-1792 was too great for recovery to be attempted. With the worst fears created in the wake of Dash 27 confirmed, the protocol for handling those exposed to SCP-1792 was completely overhauled. The most notable addition was the ruling that all were considered instances of SCP-1792. The manner in which those exposed to SCP-1792 are monitored was changed as well. Each individual's container is to be monitored by its own security system, independent of and disconnected from each other and the facility main system, so as to prevent SCP-1792 contamination from spreading if a similar event occurs again. After this incident, the Foundation began attempts to track down individuals known to have been exposed to SCP-1792 in the past for the purposes of containment. However, most have proven to be unable to be located thus far. Addendum. Oh god, I'm feeling the shake stronger now. From the notes of Dr. SCP-1792 is far more dangerous than previously believed. Despite its safe class, it is not fully contained and must be treated as an active threat. With the number of potential carriers out there, as well as the quantity of possible vectors of transmission being far greater than previously believed, the damage SCP-1792 can potentially inflict is enormous, and its containment is the top priority. My request that cross-experimentation with other SCPs be forbidden without exception has been approved. Contamination by SCP-1792, especially in an SCP capable of transmitting it remotely, represents a threat that simply cannot be risked. Even more importantly, SCP-1792 must be kept off of mediums such as the internet even before it was fully understood. It was apparent that many people would be hurt if it were somehow to get online. With what we now know, that would be among the least it could potentially do. Whew. Well, it's definitely not. It's not Rick Astley. Rick Astley. It's not there. It's not his video. Because I know, like, even though a whole generation got exposed to his videos, could not escape the wrath of Rick Rolls. I don't think anybody decided to like draw or make music out of it. Well, no, remixes out there, but I don't think anybody decided to draw it or become the song itself. I'm gonna look how long the next SCP is. Okay, it's very short. After this one, I'm gonna get myself something to eat. And, yeah. I don't know, still haven't ruled it out completely. Okay, sure. Maybe it is. Maybe Rick Astley knows something that we don't.